evening. Welcome. We're going to reconvene our open session, and I'd like to ask Trustee Inman to report out actions taken in closed session.
Thank you. On a 5-0 vote with trustees Milchiker and Rydell absent, the board took action in closed session to accept the resignation of a classified employee and to approve the separation agreement and general release as executed by the classified employee, the district, and has authorized the chancellor or designee to take all steps necessary to effect the decision.
Thank you for that. Now we'll be led in an invocation by Trustee Prendergast and the Pledge of Allegiance by Trustee Rydell.
So in the 1990s, we had Bosnia-Herzegovina, Rwanda. In the 2000s, we had Darfur. And while we have Remembrance Days, resolutions this evening for the Holocaust and Armenian Genocide Remembrance, it's worth noting that in the 9th day of civil war in Sudan, embassies from all over the world are evacuating their diplomats and citizens, and that we may be looking at another potential genocide where, unfortunately, we may not be learning from history, which we need to do. So I ask for a moment of silence in hope that another genocide can be prevented. Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any requests for public comments? There are none. Okay, we'll then move on to board reports. And I will start, I guess on my left, I'm being lobbied. So I'll start out with Trustee Dack.
All right, let's get started. So I was happy to attend quite a few events this past month. On April 11th, I was proud to be present at the Irvine City Council for their proclamation in the recognition of community college awareness with a number of other trustees and our chancellor, as well as our presidents from our schools. We also did the same thing at Tustin City Council. We received a proclamation there as well on April 18th. And then I was also proud to attend the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce's annual Estrella dinner. It was a very great time. I got to sit with Trustee Milchiker, who is not here, and got to have quite a good conversation that I'm looking forward to speaking with her more about. I'm also very excited to be going to the Chancellor's investiture this week on Thursday, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Trustee Dack. Trustee Prendergast.
Yes, I was able to attend the Tustin City Council declaration of community college awareness and was honored to speak before the council. It was nice to hear the council's congratulations as well as acknowledgement that we were one of the few groups that actually shows up to receive a resolution. They really appreciated that, so we were able to do a photo with them, and that was very, very nice. I also attended the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Gala, where it was a very, very nice event, as it always is, but seeing Edward James Olmos get the Life Achievement Award was really special. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I was a little upset in the montage they didn't have anything about Blade Runner, but that's just me. But other than that, it was a very nice event, and good luck to the Chancellor and the investiture. I'm sorry I won't be able to be there. I have a swim meet, but good luck, and that's all I have.
Okay, this was a very busy month. I went to the city council meetings in Irvine, Tustin, and Laguna Woods to help receive proclamations honoring Community College Awareness Month. Secondly, I had the opportunity to testify at both state and federal levels. I provided federal testimony during the negotiated rulemaking public hearing hosted by the Department of Public Education. Our request was to allow applicants to propose regional adjustments to better reflect what low income truly means in expensive regions, like ourselves. The state was the SOCCCD Virtual Lobby Day, where we had 6 back-to-back appointments, back-to-back. About the fourth one, my voice was, I was just mumbling words, But I recovered and we finished, and Trustee Rydell and I were able to enjoy those appointments. We did a couple of really fun things. The first was 9 to 5, the musical. Trustee Dack and I started a group to invite friends to attend their first IVC performance, and close to 25 people did so. So we're really excited about that. They raved about the quality of the performance and how easy it was to get there. One of my friends said, "We drive all over the place to find good theater, and it's right here in our backyard." That, of course, was the point of our invitation. Finally, the month ended Saturday night with these awards that these gentlemen have talked about. There were about 650 guests there, and they all stood as a standing ovation for the Lifetime Achievement Award to Edward James Olmos, which we liked very much. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Trustee Rydell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share a few points and highlights from the Saddleback College Foundation. We had a meeting just Thursday, and Saddleback Foundation Executive Director Elizabeth McCain was elected president of the board and the board of directors for the Network of California Community Colleges, a nice honor. Saddleback College Foundation looks forward to celebrating its amazing students and generous donors at their scholarship ceremony on May 19th. And Saddleback College Foundation partnered with RX3 Growth Partners on a pilot charity flag football event and received $50,000 in gifts for their participation. Some real important people were there. The foundation looks forward to the 2024 partnership already in the works. Saddleback College Foundation received $75,000 in gift for culinary arts from the Table for 10. This is the third time that they have received gifts and received them in 2022. Saddleback College Foundation received $72,000 grant from the California Community Foundation to support the nursing students. And I attended some of these functions. Thank you so much for saying them so eloquently, Trustee Anand. But what I really want to share is when I attended Cabaret, and I don't know how many people in here went to Cabaret. I have missed so much the musicals. I think some of you know my favorite was Singing in the Rain, and they actually had water coming down and wondered, where is it going? And it was maybe, I don't know, 30, 20 years ago when I attended it here. And it was amazing, but I have to tell you, it got trumped. Let me just tell you a few things, and I'm going to mention some names, and I hope that half of you in this room know them, because I want to honor them, because it was a fantastic program. So I wanted to tell you that I'm going to highlight, the director and choreographer was Andrew
Trustee Rydell. Okay, why don't you?
Okay, I won't
remind-
mention any names. I know I have to. I just want to tell you that my heart goes out to the program, because it was absolutely genuine, it was real, they didn't add anything or less than what we saw years ago on Broadway. And I want to thank all of you in Fine Arts for making this such a fabulous production. I mean, what's her name? Sally. She has to go to Broadway. I mean, and the MC has to go to Broadway. I am so proud of this production and this program. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, President.
You're welcome. Trustee Jay.
I'll be short. Friday, May 19th is a big day for scholarships for the South Orange County Community College District, as both colleges are holding their scholarship ceremonies on that day. The celebration begins at IVC in the Hart Gymnasium. Their events start with a reception with a continental breakfast at 8 a.m., followed by the ceremony at 9. That afternoon at 3 o'clock, Saddleback College will hold their ceremony. I encourage you to attend at least one of these events, celebrate the achievements of our students, honor and appreciate the scholarship contributors, and illustrate the impactful work our foundations do. If you're planning to attend, please RSVP to the College Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I'll go, I've missed a few things the last couple of weeks. I had to go out of state for some travel that I had to do. But sorry I missed a lot of the events and programs, but I did notice that, as Trustee Prendergast mentioned, Edward James Olmos was honored. So as I've already told the Chancellor many years ago, I actually worked with Edward, or Mr. Olmos, on a public service announcement regarding taking care of the ocean. And so I got to work with him quite a bit on that production and the script, and he was great. He was really a pro to work with, adapted to the script. We did it English and Spanish too, and so that was really a joy to work with him. Glad to see he got the honor. And then very much looking forward to tomorrow morning. We have recognition before the County Board of Supervisors, so we're looking forward to that. And then an investiture. I've never been to an investiture, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure it's going to be great and well deserved. And then lastly, thank you, Trustee Prendergast, for mentioning crimes against humanity in your invocation. And we've got some resolutions coming up, and I'll say more about it at that time, so thank you. Now we have, student trustee, do you want to, you're going to come up here shortly. We'll give you an opportunity to speak then, but you can speak now as well. Okay. I'm not trying to take away time, but there's something special coming up. All right. Okay. I think we're now on to ASG. Yes.
All right, thank you, trustees. I'm going to start off my report with some of the activities that had just happened in this past month. So we had the Guided Pathway Summit where we had really great attendance. A lot of our student leaders were also helping facilitate some of these events. Also, like a week after that, April 14th, we had our first ever DEIA Day, and we also had a student panel too. I was a part of the student panel, and also our VP of Budget and Finances, Derek Izam, was also on that panel. And we just gave a lot of information and just basically our experiences of what it's like to be a student here and what it means. Also, just even sharing our gratitude that there's even events like this on campus that really want to hear out and really want to enhance the student experience. Also, our student government has continued to have our movie nights. Last week, we did have a movie screening of Puss in Boots and The Last Wish, which we really like the idea of having just these movies on campus where students are able to come in and just, relax after hours and just really have that student engagement. Also, this week is Sexual Assault Awareness Week, where there's going to be many activities throughout this week, and even our own student government, our civic engagement committee, is going to be working with Title IX officers to ensure that students are aware of these resources and what it means. And just to basically to wrap a little bit up is that this semester is also wrapping up very quickly with only 1 month and 1 day until commencement. And you can really feel it, the energy on campus shift with like students preparing for their finals, receiving their university acceptances, like preparing for their future, and just basically coming to the thought that this year is coming to an end. And I feel like it's definitely a lot more different because we are been fully in person this semester on campus. And even myself, I'm coming to the reality that this is even my final semester at IVC. I've been at IVC for 3 years, and to come from beginning completely online to fully like in person here, it's been an incredible experience. And I'm just gonna end my report, my second to last report, so thank you.
Sorry about that. Unless the board objects, I'm going to go a little out of order here, and go to, take up part of item 14 and I'd like to get an update from the Faculty Association. Yeah, your report now. Startled look on your face.
I have dreams like that where I show up to my classroom to teach and I'm completely unprepared. But I'm happy to do my report now. My report is ready. I am prepared. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me my opportunity now. The first thing I want to comment on is actually the movie Stand and Deliver. That movie came out in 1988 when I was entering the last year of my education to become a teacher, and I was so always inspired by it. So that was really cool to see that. I want to honor and thank all the teachers who are coming up on that last month. It is a time of intense work, a time of pulling things together at the end, helping students finalize. There's lots and lots and lots of grading, as I'm hearing. And I just want to thank the teachers for their dedication. As the year comes to an end, it doesn't get easy, and we don't graduate on May 26th. The work continues, so thank you. The last thing on my report is to honor the teachers from IVC who were named Outstanding Teachers of the Year, and I just want to put their names in the record. The Outstanding Full-Time Faculty Teacher of the Year is Winnie Din, Professor of ESL. The Outstanding Part-Time Teacher of the Year in Psychology, Hartrisha Dehinza, and the Outstanding Emeritus Teacher in Health and Fitness for Mature Adults, Rosa Turi. So congratulations to them. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'd like to move on to IVC Academic Senate. Dan DiRelay.
Thank you, President Jamal. I'd like to say a special thank you this evening because I don't think these folks will be a little too distracted to receive thanks during our next board meeting when finals hit. So I want to thank Angelica Bustos for doing a wonderful job as IBC ASC president. Angelica has been great. She has been faithful in meetings. She is articulate, well-spoken. She comes to meetings even when it's a minute to go before class. And I've seen her lead associated government there in a terrific way. And I'd also like to welcome, although I told him he would not be as good as Angelica, Diego Victoria, who is our incoming president. Diego is a champion debater, and I must say he did pass a particular professor's writing class with flying colors. I won't mention the professor, but we're happy to have both of you there. I'd also like to thank our administration for their work in securing a grant for IVC for our Center for Teaching Excellence. This has been something that we have been hoping for a long time. It is a great way to unite the campus around shared goals, and we're looking forward to the planning, which will start shortly in the summer. I'd also like to thank, this is a thank you night, I'd also like to thank my colleague and counterpart from Saddleback College, Heidi Ochoa, for being a terrific colleague during this year and for helping our two schools to communicate and work together so well. So thank you much.
Well, and that's a great segue into Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Dan is trying to make me cry before my report. I truly have appreciated the bond that we've been able to create, and I look forward to the continued bond that we'll create in coming years. Good evening, Chancellor Barnes, trustees, so good to see you. So excited to report that our Academic Senate executive team just learned this morning that we got a $300,000 grant for culturally responsive pedagogy and practices. The grant will cover ally trainings, part-time faculty stipends for professional development, and an equity syllabus training. And we look forward to rolling that out in fall. We're I also wanted to give fat compliments to Cabaret. It was so good. I totally agree with you, Terry. I also believe that all of the actors and actresses should get to Broadway. And I also want to say that the theater program just developed a musical theater degree, which is also a really exciting development over this last year. I want to congratulate Carmen Mara Hernandez and Ray Zimmerman and David Bouguet for creating our Focus Affinity Group, which is the Faculty of Color United for Success. And I also just want to give a big shout out to all of the social media presence that you all have been engaging in. Faculty are noticing that you are doing a good job making us more and more visible, and it's just great to see your enthusiasm online.
Thank you for that. And now I think I'm moving on to, it doesn't matter which one, Saddleback College Classified Senate.
Good evening. I have a quick update for you all. Classified Senate at the Saddleback College campus has just completed elections, and we have a new executive team that we're welcoming in. I won't name them all, but many familiar faces have been reinstated to their seats. And we're excited to start planning and goal setting for next year. June 29th is a save the date for a campus-wide kickoff event for our Caring Campus initiative. As we prepare to welcome students to campus in the fall, we will welcome all classified professionals and faculty and any members of the management team who wish to join to hear about the Caring Campus behavioral commitments and to bring them up to speed on what our plan is for the fall and how we will welcome students. We had the pleasure of hosting some training sessions from the Career Center, EOPS undocumented students, and campus police who helped us with some safety trainings at Classified Senate. And then on May 8th at 2:30, we will be working with the ASG Director Chris Hargraves, who will be hosting with us a commencement training session to update Classified on the changes for Saddleback's commencement and help to prepare classifieds who may want to join and volunteer for that. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Now on to IVC Classified Senate.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you to all who helped. We lost one of our amazing classified employees at IVC. She was part of our IVC family. And we lost her at the end of March. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna cry. And for everybody who helped her, she was a champion for our classified. We started a scholarship for her. It's the Don Pickering Scholarship. We wanted to make it endowed. I believe within 2 weeks it went endowed, which if any of you know, it's over $10,000. She was an amazing champion for our students, for us. We were honored to spend her last days with us. So thank you, everybody who championed for her towards her end. And thank you, everybody here, for all of your support with Classified. We lost a good one. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that. Now we have Scott Green from CSEA.
Thank you, Mr. President. Want to thank the board in advance for the resolution recognizing California School Employees Week, which is coming up in May. We have a lot of things planned to recognize our classified professionals and all that they do. And Dawn Pickering, who was just mentioned, is someone that was a tremendous help to CSEA, was a very good classified employee. Everything that she did with class and elegance. And she was very good to the students, very attentive. She always provided service for them. And I got to know Dawn a little bit over the years because she would actually call me, and it would usually be on a matter that pertained to an issue at work. But it turned out to be a lot of personal conversations in which I really got to know who she was and her likes and her passions. And a lot of times she did mention how much she really enjoyed her job and how much she really loved to service the students, and that's what made her job enjoyable. And I echo those sentiments that it's a tremendous loss, but we look to carry on to have her name always be remembered by having the scholarship set up, and we look forward to continuing on in the name of Dawn Pickering. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Scott. Okay, well, now we're on to item 4. Going back up now in the agenda. Item 4.3, board requests for reports. Do we have any? Don't have any. And then we don't have any public hearings, and now we're on to resolutions. We have many resolutions. But let me just say something a little bit about item 6.1. Rachel, our student trustee. I just want to say you've been an outstanding student trustee. It's been a real joy to have you here on the dais with us. You've been professional, you've been conscientious, and I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of student trustees over the years, and they've all been very good, and you're up there with the best of them. And so, on behalf of the entire district, our nearly 40,000 students, Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, ATEP, we thank you for your tenure and service, and we're going to give you a little commemorative plaque, but as I said earlier, if you want to offer a few words, absolutely do that now.
Thank you so much, President Jamal. I just have a few words. It was part of my report, but Angelica covered a lot of the events that we attended, but I just wanted to say I'm really excited to be welcoming Chancellor Barnes at her investiture this Thursday. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm really excited to welcome the new student trustee, Caitlin Hitty, next month, who will be starting her term after this meeting. And I'm just grateful for this leadership experience, and especially being able to work with DSPS staff and the anthropology staff to learn more about how to advocate for our students with disabilities and share that research to our Capitol representatives alongside my ASIVC and Saddleback student governments and EOPS students. And I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. In high school, I almost didn't graduate from high school because I felt like I didn't have a place in college because of that. So I didn't apply anywhere because I could never speak up for myself until the DSPS services at my high school helped me and encouraged me to enroll at IVC. And this community college showed me that education should be equitable and students should have a voice. And it helped me to advocate for myself because it's always been easier for me to advocate for my peers, and that just empowered me, and we all empowered each other. So I'm really sad to also be leaving IVC as well. But thank you so much.
Well, we are going to miss you. I think we're going to have a little photo, if you want to join me up here.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sorry, we had a vote. A lot of suspense on this one. All right. Okay, is there a motion on 6.1?
I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Motion, Trustee Inman, second from Trustee Rydell. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion is agreed to on a 6-0 trustee yes vote. Should you do the whole board or just me? Just me or the whole board? Okay. Okay, that was great. Okay, now I think 6.2, I'm turning it over to Trustee Inman.
Agenda items 6.2 to 6.7, recognition of our district's Teachers of the Year. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to start by congratulating our Faculty of the Year and would like to express our deepest appreciation for their commitment in their field and for making a difference in our students' success. Item 6.2, Irvine Valley College Outstanding Full-Time Teacher of the Year, Winnie Den. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Winnie Den as the Irvine Valley College Outstanding Full-Time Teacher of the Year. Can we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We now have an electronic vote.
And you got a motion from trustee Rydell and a second from, oh, you moved it. Sorry.
And I second.
Okay, got it. The motion is carried by a unanimous trustee yes vote.
Item 6.3, Irvine Valley College Outstanding Part-Time Teacher of the Year, Hartricia Dinsa. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Hartricia Dinsta as the Irvine Valley College Outstanding Part-Time Teacher of the Year. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from trustee Jay and a second from trustee Prendergast. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote.
Okay, item 6.4, Irvine Valley College Outstanding Emeritus Teacher of the Year, Rosa Turi. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Rosa Turi as the Irvine Valley College Outstanding Emeritus Teacher of the Year. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from trustee Jay and a second from trustee Rydell. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion passes on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote.
Item 6.5, Saddleback College Full-Time Teacher of the Year, Dr. Ryan McKeechee. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Dr. Ryan McKeechee as the Saddleback College Full-Time Teacher of the Year. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second, I'm sorry, motion from trustee Jay, second from trustee Rydell. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote.
Item 6.6, Saddleback College Part-Time Teacher of the Year, Mary Mariano. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Mary Mariano as the Saddleback College Part-Time Teacher of the Year. May we have a motion?
Second.
Who moved it? Oh, motion from trustee Dack and a second from trustee Rydell. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote.
Item 6.7, Saddleback College Emeritus Teacher of the Year, Jane Kim. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Jane Kim as the Saddleback College Emeritus Teacher of the Year. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from trustee Jay and a second from trustee Dack. Let's go ahead and vote. Oh, here it is. The motion carries on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. By the way, are any of these people here that we should be recognizing? No? Okay.
So it passed, okay. Item 6.8, Classified School Employee Week. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby recognize, honor, and appreciate the many contributions of classified employees to quality education in California and in our district, and declare the week of May 21st to the 27th, 2023 as Classified School Employee Week. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Jay and a second from trustee Prendergast. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote.
Item 6.9, the South Orange County Community College District Board of Trustees would also like to recognize Earth Day on April 22nd, 2023. The Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District recognize April 22nd, 2023 as Earth Day throughout the district and encourages all students, faculty, staff to use Earth Day to celebrate the earth and promote the well-being of the inhabitants of our district and the protection of the environment. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from trustee Jay and a second from trustee Dack. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote.
Item 6.10, Day of Remembrance for the Armenian Genocide on April 24th, 2023. The Board of Trustees of the South Orange County Community College District hereby encourages the colleges and all employees and students to commemorate this historic tragedy. May we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We've got a motion from trustee Jay and then a second from trustee Prendergast, and I just wanted to say a few words. I thank you again, trustee Prendergast, for bringing this issue up in your invocation. I think that you've heard me talk about this issue before, which is, personal. And I had 8 of my grandmother's brothers and sisters were murdered in the Ottoman Turkish Empire. They had 11 children, 3 survived, and were able to come over to Ellis Island in 1923. Unfortunately, while words are important, words matter, words don't stop genocides. I'm actually myself heading over to Armenia in 3 or 4 days, going to some border areas that are under assault from Azerbaijan. People are dying, and the words aren't helping. When you have dictators and autocrats, the language of soft diplomacy just doesn't work. And so there are times like this that where action is required, and unless action is taken, more people will be harmed, and they are being harmed. So these expressions are helpful, but these decisions are made in world capitals, in Washington, D.C., Brussels, Moscow. Those are the places where this is happening, and the language of dictators, of the people in Azerbaijan and in Turkey and Moscow, this kind of soft diplomacy is important to us, and it makes me feel good that we have a district that cares about these things, but it doesn't change things, how they make decisions. We have a different value system from them, and so thank you for doing this. I know I appreciate it. I know that a lot of people in the Armenian community across Orange County appreciate it. This is the day of remembrance, and there have been a number of commemorations over the last 2 weeks, so thank you.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and vote. Okay, we have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Thank you. We'll go on to the last resolution, I think.
Yes, and finally, 6.11, Holocaust Remembrance Day on April 18th, 2023. The South Orange County Community College District, on the day of April 18th, 2023, encourages students, staff, and faculty to observe the Day of Remembrance for victims of the Holocaust in an appropriate manner. May we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion from trustee Jay, and I'll give it to trustee Dack, second from trustee Dack. Let's go ahead and vote on this very important resolution. This one worked. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. And I believe that concludes our resolutions, correct? All righty. Thank you for that. Congratulations to those who were honored, and thanks to the board for expressing its principled views on a number of important matters. We're now on to 7.1, OCSBA Board of Directors interest form. So I guess we're trying to determine whether we're nominating a trustee to the OCSBA board,
This is the position that I currently hold.
okay?
Am more than happy to let somebody else try it if they want, but I'm also happy to continue if you want me to.
So I'll move to have trustee Prendergast serve on the OCSBA board.
Second.
And a second from trustee Inman. Any questions, comments? Good luck.
I do know it's a little confusing, and I actually asked the board to clear this up a little bit last year when it came up. You guys nominated me last year. We filled out the nomination form, we turned it in, and they told us that I wasn't up for reelect, that position wasn't up. So, it's possible that could happen again. We'll find out when I contact them. But, I did ask them to clarify that so that we're not doing work that we don't need to do. But, and I think at this point, since I've done it so long, the nomination form is pre-slugged. We just change the date to protect the innocent and send it in.
All right, well, I think we have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a 5-0 trustee yes vote with one abstention and a student trustee yes vote. Congratulations. All right, 7.3, board policy revision. I'm sorry, 7.2, my bad. Trustee request for attending conferences. And I guess this is just authorization.
No one's jumping on the Vegas one?
No.
I would go, but it's during the week.
Well, we still need a motion.
So moved.
Motion from trustee Jay,
Second.
second from trustee Inman. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Now we're up to 7.3, board policy revision for review and study related to traffic and parking regulations.
So moved.
Motion trustee Prendergast. Second from trustee Dack. Do we have any questions? No? Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Now we're on to 7.4, board policy revision for approval. This is for approval. Do we have a motion?
I have a question on.
Okay, so can we get a motion in a second? Motion trustee trustee Rydell. Anyone want to second it? Trustee Inman, can you second?
I can second it.
Okay, second from trustee Inman, and then a question from trustee Jay.
I wanted to know about 4250, and it has so many abbreviations in it that I couldn't really understand it. So I was wondering if we could hold this off to next time and get it cleared up. It had about a whole bunch of abbreviations. It was here on standards for probation, removal from probation is a board policy. And it had like WI, NC, NP, MW, and EW. I'd like to get that board policy and have all the abbreviations, the words put in for the abbreviations.
Like a key, like a glossary that indicates what each acronym is?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Does anyone on the board policy subcommittee want to chime in on this?
I don't know, I mean, withdrawal, incomplete, no credit, no pass. Those are fairly standard academic acronyms for
What is the
grades.
MW and EW?
EW is excused withdrawal, and MW would be a military withdrawal.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
George, do you want to hold the item, or?
I kind of would like to hold it and be able to read it with Oh,
I mean, it went.
not the initial.
It was already before us for review and study. The time to fix that would have been then. It's already been held for a month for our review.
What would you like to do? It's, if you, I think that we would have to amend the motion, and you'd have to get a second.
Well, I'd like to amend the motions.
And remove, I'm sorry, which one is it? Which,
It's 4250.
so, okay. Is
With that
there a
off.
second to trustee Jay's motion that would?
She wants to table 42.
Yes, she wants to table 4250 and move the balance of the items.
Yes. I don't have a second.
So may I make a trustee
Yeah.
Jay, within the description of the board policy 4250, it says that the grading that we're using is in accordance with board policy and administrative reg 4230. So we're referencing back to the policy and the reg where those are actually defined.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. What would you like to do with your motion?
Okay, just go on and pass it.
Okay, so maybe what we can do is we can set up, call for you to talk to Juliana and Anne Marie.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the motion and second still stands. And let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Okay, now I think we're on to presentations. It's been a while since we've had presentations, so.
President, point
Yes.
of personal privilege.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Matthew, you can go home now. You don't need a signature. I know you were here. What's that? No problem.
Of course.
See you tomorrow.
All right, thank you for that. And I think we have IVC and Saddleback College student governments presenting your tentative budgets. I'm going to step out for a minute. I'll be right back. If anything comes up, trustee Rydell, you can handle it. I'll be back soon.
All right. Thank you, trustees, for having us today. So we are the Associated Students of Urban Valley College, and we will be presenting our tentative budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024. I am Angelica Bustos, the ASIVC president, and with me today is the Vice President of Budget and Finance, Derek Izan, and the upcoming ASIVC president, Diego Victoria. Now I'll be transitioning over to the ASIVC budget highlights. So we have budgeted $900,000 for the fiscal year 2023-2024. Within that, we've projected the following: $627,000 in beginning balance, $120,000 in ASIVC access sales, and just to expand on ASIVC access is an opt-out fee students pay when the beginning of the year when they're registering for classes. This grants students full access to student government-sponsored events and campus activities. And to round up the budget, $150,000 is in bookstore revenue. Now I'll be handing it off to the Vice President of Budget and Finance, Derek is on.
Thank you, Angelica. We'll now be moving on to the details of the tentative budget for the 2023-2024 school year. We will begin with the source of funds. Current actuals are on path to meeting projections. The budget is set to be equal to this current year's budget, and projected sales and commissions are anticipated to meet budget. It's important to note that the actuals on this slide are from March of 2023. Moving on to the use of funds. First up is ASIVC events and programs. This has a slight reduction due to public relations and committee budgets being reduced. For the next category, club program support, this also has a slight reduction to reflect projected expenditures decreased projected expenditures across clubs. For the contingency, this is at 10% of the total operating budget. For the student life non-discretionary, this has a slight increase to support additional staffing. And it's important to note that in this category, we fund student passes for the OCTA for all students. Moving on to the next category, which is student services and scholarships. This has a small reduction due to an alternative source identified for the Career Center. And finally, for co-curricular and instructional programs, this has a reduced, this is also reduced based on current expenses and projections. Moving on to the student representation fee. The student representation fee is a $2 opt-out fee that is mandatory by the state, according to Assembly Bill AB 1504. This means that the projected revenue from these fees are correlated to student enrollment. Furthermore, with this fee, $1 goes to IVC student advocacy, and the other $1 goes to the state share of fees. That's it. Thank you. I will now be passing it off to incoming ASIVC President Diego Victoria.
Thank you very much, Derek, for presenting those slides. We'd just like to highlight some of the main and major ASIVC accomplishments from this 2022 to 2023 fiscal year. Starting off with our efforts for student equity, we have developed a new ASIVC executive position called the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Accessibility, or DIA for short. The purpose of this new position is to further increase and further improve all of our existing work for student equity. Furthermore, we've also focused a lot on student advocacy efforts. In March, we went on a student advocacy trip to Washington, D.C., alongside with fellow Saddleback Student Government Association, and we focused and discussed a lot with congressional offices about things that really impact students, such as mental health services, DACA recipients, and first-generation students. Moving on, we've increased a lot of our student engagement and activities on campus. We have ratified over 60 clubs, which is the most in recent years. These clubs often hold different types of socials, fundraising events, which really create a very vibrant community on campus. And lastly, we'd really like to highlight our student leadership development. In the fall, this past semester, we attended the UCLA Lake Arrowhead Leadership Retreat. It was mainly focused on developing our leadership skills and our bonding between everybody in IVC student government, and we've really benefited from this, and we have a very, very cohesive and great unit. Thank you very much. And if anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer.
Thank you.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions from
I
trustees?
did. Just going back to IVCs, and it probably applies to Saddleback as well, just curious how much impact you're seeing based on rising costs and things of that nature, and if anything you've done to look into adjusting your budgets accordingly. And then going back to bookstore commissions and access sales, assumption being, and I think you mentioned at the beginning, these numbers are from March, so your expectations, they would still come in at 150, 120, something of that nature. So maybe address the first question.
Yeah, so ASIVC hasn't been seeing a large increase due to rising costs, so that isn't an issue that we are looking into as of right now. But yes, for the second question, we do believe that the bookstore commissions and ASIVC access sales should be similar to what we have this year, yes. Any other questions?
Any other questions for our students? You guys did a great job.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up.
Yeah, could you go back to the beginning?
Saddleback ASG.
Okay, good evening. My name is Sophia Sheik. I'm the Director of Budget and Finance. And sadly, Gloria Lee, the ASG president, was unable to join us this evening due to a family emergency. And I'll be presenting the tentative budget for this next year. Sorry. Oh my God. I think I messed it up. I don't know how to fix this. Sorry.
It's okay.
What? Oh my God. Okay. Sorry.
The mouse, we don't have the clickers, just the mouse.
Okay, got it. Okay. So let's begin by looking at a few highlights of the budget. So we are going to have about a beginning balance of $140,000 of unused funds from this past fiscal year. And we're projected $165,000 of ASG activity fee sales. This is the opt-out fee that students face when registering for classes. We also have a contracted revenue, about 40.72% of revenue from the bookstore. And we are still committed to donating at least 20% of our total source of funds to scholarships such as the Foundation General and emergency scholarships, the Child Development Center, which helps subsidize the cost for those utilizing those services, and the financial aid book scholarships. And our contingency fund reflects approximately 4% of total expenditures. Okay. Let's look at the tentative budget. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so the left column is the adopted budget for this past fiscal year, and the right column over is the actuals of this past fiscal year as of March 23rd, and the column next to that is the tentative budget. Looking at the actuals, the bookstore revenue is a little low. However, we anticipate this to be closer to the adopted budget and higher. Our use of funds is a little lower as well. However, we do have other groups that have end-of-year activities as well as travels, and so this will go up by the end of the year. Moving on to the tentative, you'll notice that the beginning balance rollover is lower than past years as groups have began to spend more for traveling and doing things, which is good. We want to support the campus events as much as possible. And the bookstore revenue will stay pretty steady for next year, and the stamp sales will be a little bit lower. For our use of funds, these values are lower than expected because our total source of funds are lower, and my committee is evaluating budget proposals to best and efficiently utilize these funds, so they will fluctuate based off category, and we are all still committed to donating 20% for scholarships. Moving on to the representation fee, this is the $2 opt-out fee, where $1 goes to us and $1 goes to the state to fund the Student Senate of Community College. Looking at the actuals, you will notice that we have spent $24,000 as of the 23rd of March, and this was to pay for the trips to DC and San Diego for student conferences. And under the district and state fees, you will see that we actually have not transferred these fees over yet. However, we anticipate that to happen soon. Under the tentative budget, we anticipate the beginning balance to be about $49,000, which is lowered a little bit from past year, and the use of funds we anticipate to pay for speakers as well as advocacy conferences. Looking into this year's highlights, we had a great year. This past August, we presented that we wanted to focus on 3 main areas, being civic engagement and advocacy, non-academic barriers, and building community. Under the civic engagement and advocacy, we were able to take a trip to DC in order to advocate as well as meet with our representatives, with our colleagues at ASIVC, and we also partnered with Band of Voters to get students to register for voting. And we also are still working to bring sustainable menstrual products on campus. Moving to non-academic barriers, we are continuing to help with the EOPS Helping Hands program and are continuing to fund the Bus Pass program. To help build community, we are increasing ICC funding, as we have seen a huge increase in participation for more meetings and more travel requests, and we are also restructuring ASG to have a Senate and 3 at-large senators to increase participation in order to open the organization and to give a broad way to advocate for the students. We are really excited for what we have accomplished this year, and we hope to continue that next year. Is there any questions?
Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great job.
Thank you.
Did you just step in at the last second to do this?
Well, A little bit. A few of the slides were supposed to be presented by Gloria, the ASG president. However, she had a family emergency to attend to.
Yeah. I was just
And
going to say you did a really great job
Oh, thank
adapting
you.
the last minute. So any questions?
Yeah,
Trustee Prendergast.
I think it's commendable that you guys are committed to funding the bus pass program. I think that's a very important thing. What budget line item would that fall under? Or is it maybe better to have it separated so you can see exactly what its impact is?
Yes, it's under the student support section. And yeah, sorry.
So I mean, I guess what I'm asking is how much of the student support budget does it, I assume there are other things that you have in there, and just curious how much the bus pass program costs in itself.
Right, it costs about 70,000 per year. Also, to answer the question that you previously asked, IVC, we have seen a rising cost increase, and we're working with our admin to look at things that we're funding that could be taken care of by them. And there also has been an increase in people asking for money for cost of foods and other items definitely going up. Yeah.
Thank you. Trustee Inman.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. First of all, I'm very impressed by the bus pass program as well. Transportation is so expensive and it's so difficult in this area where we all think we have to have cars and so forth. So thank you for doing that. Do you have any numbers on how many students use it or some? You wouldn't know, except unless they told you, but have they given you that kind of information?
Yes, actually they have. We have seen about 1,100 users this past year.
Wow.
And that has increased exponentially since the pandemic.
That's fabulous. That is such a service to the students.
Yeah.
I had one more question. On the next one, building community, how is it decided which clubs get money, how much money they get? Do they get the same amount? Do they have to apply for it, or how does that all work?
I can actually get back to you on that, if that's possible.
No, it's just, I'm sure it's perfect, but I'm just curious how you did it. Thank you. Both groups, you did, I'm so impressed, you know. I have trouble with my family budget. Not really. But I'm impressed with the work that you do and what you're learning to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Both colleges. Trustee Rydell, did you have something to say? No? No. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that concludes the two presentations, and I think we're voting, right? Yeah, so we need a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion from Trustee Prendergast, just to swing to the other side of the aisle, give the second to Trustee Jay, and let's go ahead and vote. Okay, so that got us in. The motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Congratulations, good job again. Now on to our favorite topic in this district, and that is the basic aid allocation recommendation for fiscal years 2023 through 24, or fiscal year 23, 24.
You want me to just start? I didn't know if Anne Marie was going to say
Did you want to
anything.
kick it off? Vice Chancellor
She doesn't
Gable?
need to, that's a hard act to follow, following those students,
Yeah,
so.
okay, yeah, I agree.
Although it's a really stimulating topic.
Do you want to introduce her?
Certainly. Yes, it's my pleasure to introduce Connie Kavanaugh, who is our Executive Director of Fiscal Services. So she will be doing our presentation tonight on our basic aid allocation recommendation.
Good
Floor is
evening.
yours.
All right, good evening, President Jamal, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Barnes. I'm here today to talk about the basic aid allocation recommendation for the 23-24 fiscal year. So, I thought sorry, the screen flipped. So it all starts with our District Resource Allocation Council, tenderly known as DRAC. So DRAC meets and reviews all of the recommendations that are put forth by both KIC, which is the Capital Improvement Committee, and DTC, which is the District Technology Committee, for their allocation requests out of the basic aid funds that are available. And we have very mindful discussions about the recommendations, and those are then presented to the chancellor, who reviews those and makes a recommendation to the board. So just a review of what we have available for next year for our basic aid funding. We have an estimated beginning balance as of July 1st of '23 of just over $36.6 million. And that's comprised of $11.4 million that were returned funds from closed basic aid projects that we determined this fiscal year. $17.1 million of that is the prior year contingency, which represents 10% of the basic aid tax collections. And we are seeing a higher than expected property tax revenues in our 22-23 fiscal year of just under $8 million. So that is where the beginning balance comes from. We are estimating property tax receipts next year minus our DRAC allocation. That makes up the $85.4 million. And then we, as I said, we have a 20% contingency on our property tax collection. So the funds available for next year for the allocation is $105 million. This, of course, is an estimate at this point. As we get closer to adopted budget, we have more final numbers, and those will be updated accordingly. So how we look at our basic aid recommendations is, first we have to look at our long-term obligations and fixed expenses. I'm going to go into each one of these more in the coming slides, but that amount is set aside out of the basic aid funds available, and then we look to both KIC and DTC for their recommendations on their projects. And the totals there represent the $105 million that we went over on the last slide. So the long-term obligations and fixed expenses, we always fund our retiree benefit trust. Our actuarial study was completed as of December 31st of 2022, which showed that we had a net operating liability, net OPEB liability of $12.3 million. So per our board policy, we always fully fund the liability as of the previous December. And then we also fund the normal cost each year, which is based on the actuarial report as well. So the total of both of those items are included in the long-term obligations. Then we set aside funds for our legislative advocacy that happens annually, as well as our credit card and bank fees. And then our pension rate stabilization, we have seen quite an increase in our rates over many years, and we are increasing our proposed allocation to the Pension Stabilization Trust. As a result, we've pretty much depleted the funds available in that trust, and so we need to rebuild those funds and make sure we have adequate funding for future years. So we have proposed an allocation of $12 million for next fiscal year. So that's the total of $32.6 million. As part of the exhibit in the board agenda, Exhibit B goes into finite detail for both the KIC and DTC projects, so I'm not going to list those here in my presentation. But just as a highlight, KIC looks at several categories of projects that they propose for funding. The total for the capital projects is $46.4 million. We have an annual allocation for ADA improvements across the district of $3 million. There were scheduled maintenance projects of $800,000 and renovation and other facility-related projects of the $5.3 million. So the total KIC requests for the basic aid recommendation is $55.6 million. DTC's recommendations, they went through quite a process as well. We had more limited funds available out of basic aid funds this year, primarily as a result of the increase in the SCFF allocation with the cost of living adjustment we're projecting for next year. So we, both groups made sure that they went through and revised their recommendations to fit within the monies that we have available. So the final DTC requests, $10.9 million goes towards our ERP systems and maintenance. We had district-wide projects about $805,000 and just under $5.1 million of college projects. And again, those details are included in the Exhibit B on the board agenda. Finally, we always like to look to the future and see what we project for the coming years for our basic aid estimates. For the total revenue, that's our property tax collections, we have estimated an increase of 3.5% annually. We are seeing quite a bit more than that in the 22-23 fiscal year as a result of a lot of the turnover in home sales locally in the last year, but we don't expect that to continue in the future. So we've gone back to the 3.5%, which is a more standard average that we see across the district. For our DRAC allocation, we have adjusted the SCFF calculations for each year based on the COLA that has been recommended by School Services of California. So for the 24-25 fiscal year, they have estimated it to be 3.54%. And then the next 2 years respectively are 3.31 and 3.23. Of course, projections at this point, which gives us the net basic aid funds available to each for us in the next 3 years. Again, we back out the long-term obligations. And those have been adjusted annually. We are proposing a $2 million increase to that pension stabilization trust allocation each year. And we have continued the contribution to the retiree benefits based on the actuarial report. And the trustee election costs are included in that annually whenever we have an election year. So that brings us to our amount available for basic aid allocation each year. And then the facilities master plan need is based on our facility master plan cash flow projections that Madhani, I know, will go over more in detail with his presentation next. Our technology funding estimate is we're in the process of revising our technology master plan. So I worked with Vice Chancellor McDonald and got some estimates of what we're projecting for those needs in the next 3 years, which shows us our amount remaining, which if you look in the 24-25 year shows we won't have enough if all of these projections come to fruition. So we will have to work with both DTC and KIC to revise their recommendations in those years, should we actually be subjected to these proposed recommendations or proposed projections. That's my last slide, if anyone has any questions.
Thank you for going through that. I think we do have some questions for you.
Sure.
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, just referencing that, the negative there, is it safe to assume that you're gonna have a carryover from 2022, 2023, or 23, 24 that usually will handle that?
We do, because of course our projections are projections, so hopefully they're conservative projections and we'll have some extra built in there. And we also review those closed projects every year. And so should there be funds that we can revert back to the basic aid pot, that's not included in that. We don't project out future years closed projects. So I would imagine we'll be able to buffer that
And if we
as the
didn't
time
have that
comes.
carryover, isn't that what the contingency fund is for?
Oh, could we use the contingency
Yeah.
fund? Anne Marie might be able to speak better to that. I believe our board policy requires us to set aside the contingency, and that would be used in an emergency if our actuals came in below projection, but we don't typically allocate funds
So I guess that's
utilizing
what-
the
like,
contingency.
If the actuals came in a negative 11,000, so everything
right.
came to fruition, then we would still be okay with the contingency funds, correct?
Yes.
Not that that's great, but it's what I think they're for.
Right, we could be, and, you know, one of the things that we can also look at is timing of the projects, and so do we need to fund everything in the year that we have it slated for, or can it be pushed out? So you'll see, like this year, we did a lot of that in order to balance the funding as we push some projects out. So we didn't not fund the projects are still going to go forward, but the timeline may be pushed out a little bit.
Any other questions? I know it's in the attachments. Are we going to get into any specific projects tonight or no?
We can, if you have questions on them. We have all the details in the attachments. The next presentation, the next board item is really going over the projects that are in construction and then that are planned.
Okay.
But if you have specific
No, let's
questions,
get to
I'm happy
that.
to answer them.
Well, let's get the presentation first. Okay.
Right, so Madhani will be next to present.
Thank you.
With the capital projects, not the technology projects, obviously. Thank you.
Correct. Oh, that's right. Okay, so we do have to vote on the recommendation. So is there a motion and a second? Motion from trustee Jay,
Second.
second from trustee Inman. Any other questions? Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Okay. Now we have Medhani, you're up.
Great. Okay. All right. Thank you, Board President Jamal, trustees, Chancellor Barnes. So today we do have our annual basic aid projects updates, which we look forward to share with you guys to let you know what we've been doing. We have quite a few slides, so I'm sure you all have looked at the slides, so I'll go through the main points. And I think we have like 23 slides or so. I want to be able to save some time for Q&A for you all. So in the table of contents here, you'll see the projects are split up in four categories: in design, bid, under construction, and completed projects, and upcoming projects. So the first project is the IVC Student Services Student Union at IVC, obviously. This project is currently at DSA, and we are waiting for approval from DSA on that, and we're hearing that it's going to be coming, we're going to be getting the approval any day now. This Saddleback College Quad renovation project, this project was actually approved by DSA. This is a project we're putting on hold for now, and we're looking to start construction summer of 2024, and the hold is intentional. We are looking for the science math project to do the demo of the bridge before we can go in here and do this project. So that needs to be completed before we do this project, so hence why we're starting construction next summer. But this is DSA approved. The next project is the IVC Lot 7, going from temp to permanent at IVC. This will address ADA sidewalk needs and obviously changing the parking lot to permanent and better walkway lights along the vicinity of the area. So we're currently in design in this project. And this is a long one. IVC Fine Arts Promenade Landscape Hardscape Coffee Structure and Performing Arts Renovation Project. This project essentially will, after the Arts Village project is done, it will provide, address the landscaping between the Arts Village and PE area, behind the PAC building, both hardscape and landscape, and provide a new coffee structure that's probably really well needed for that part of campus. So this project, we just got the architect on board, so it's in design currently. This is the utility distribution project here at Saddleback. This is, while it's titled that way, it has multiple projects under it. I'll go through the first, the columns on the left side. Generator number 1 at BGS Gateway and AGB. We currently have a contractor in place right now to replace that generator. It's an old antiquated generator. The second generator for the LRC in Science Math. That one, DSA just approved that, so we will be going to bid for that, and you'll probably be seeing that in the June board for approval. The second half of this is the upgrading the 12 kV system on campus. It's our systems are starting to get antiquated, so we are in the process of upgrading all the systems on campus in preparations for some of our new buildings, for example, the central plant, and updating a lot of our switches, if you will, on campus that are gravely needed. Currently, they're manually operated. We're looking at automating the system, which from a safety standpoint, it's a big deal. So we're currently in design in that project. The next project is the Saddleback Solar Canopy Project Phase 1. We're very excited about this project. This is the first phase for Saddleback. This is one of 4 phases that we're doing, which will be about 25% of the campus need. We will also be doing 32 electrical vehicle charging stations as part of this project as well, so we're excited about that. I think that's a big deal. So that, I believe that's going to be, it's on your approval item for today, so as one of the items. Next big project, Saddleback Softball Field and Parking Lot 12. This is another project where that's on the board docket for approval today. Once approved, we'll start construction immediately. The next one is district-wide ATEP demolition. So we have a few buildings at ATEP still that were not demoed as part of the initial demo. We have about 4 or 5 buildings, old Navy buildings, if you will, that we need to demo. So that's what this project will address. At that point, once that's done, all the buildings will have been demoed. Currently in bid process on this one. IVC Arts Village, this is one of 3 partially state-funded projects. Very excited about this project. It's about 70% complete. And what you see in the pictures there are the articulated walls. Again, 70% complete. We're looking at construction completing fall of 2023. Saddleback College Gateway Project, this is the second partially state-funded projects that we have on campus. This is 75% complete. We're looking complete construction early spring of 2024. Saddleback College Landscape Project Phase 1. If you drove or walked to campus, you've seen this project. So we're addressing ADA issues at one of the main entrances, but we're touching all 3 entrances on campus, parking lot 13, and then the areas between CDC and the stadium. So this project is currently underway. It'll look really nice once it's complete and slated to be completed fall of 2023. Saddleback at ATEP, this project is ongoing. NTP was issued in January, right in the heart of the rainy season, unfortunately. And so it's kind of slowed them down a tad bit, but they've picked up now. And so it's currently 4% complete. Saddleback College Science Math Building, this is the 3rd partially state-funded project. This project is slated to start this spring. We're hoping to issue the notice to proceed in May, early May, with completing the project summer of 2025. And now on to completed constructions. We have the ADA transition plan project we just recently completed. We did work at IVC and Saddleback, both exterior and interior work. And the pictures that you see are both at IVC and Saddleback. The IVC soccer fields and practice field was another project that was completed late last summer. Another project at IVC, the parking lot solar shade project. This is the first phase of solar at IVC that we've completed. There's another phase 2 and 3 that we're going to be completing to meet the needs of that campus. Saddleback baseball turf scoreboard replacement project. We're very excited about this project. This will address changing the existing grass and dirt with our artificial turf, changing out the old antiquated scoreboard that we have with a new video scoreboard, and also addressing, on the west side that we need a net, and so we're going to be adding netting on that part of the field and address some slope issues that we have over there as well. So excited about that project. So we're looking to commence design this summer for that project. Saddleback Greenhouse Biology and Horticulture. We're currently working with the college on the initial programming on this project, and again, it's to enhance the existing greenhouse for a joint biology and horticulture program. So we're hoping to complete design fall of 24 on this, but initially right now we're doing programming. So another important project that's, folks don't necessarily see, but very important. It addresses the cooling and heating needs of the campus. Our current central plant here at Saddleback is old and in need of a renovation. And so we're looking at addressing essentially a complete renovation, replacing the chillers, taking away the cogen, which is a gas hog, if you will, changing out the boilers, the gas boilers with electric boilers. We're going all electric. So our existing electrical project that I was talking about earlier is preparing for this project as well. So we're currently, we're hoping to commence design this summer for this project. Upcoming projects, we've kept the student housing and village demo phase 1 and 2 listed here until we hear otherwise, obviously. So that's listed. We also have the solar canopy project Phase 2 for Saddleback. This would be Phase 2 of 4. And then we're currently working on scoping for the ADA transition plan Phase 2. We're going to be addressing more ongoing ADA-related issue off of our transition plan. And then last but not least, at IVC, looking at putting in a new baseball team room. They currently do not have a baseball team room. So I went really fast to kind of get an opportunity for Q&A.
Thank you for that presentation, Medahani.
Yes.
Do we have any questions from the board on any of these projects? I was kind of wondering why the baseball coach was here today. But welcome. Good to see you guys here today. Thank you for going through that. I think you guys did a really good job. We're really fortunate to have a basic aid district, and that's obvious tonight from the prior presentation and the specificity of the projects. Now we need to get enrollments up, and I know we're working on that, and that's going to happen. But it looks good, and I guess we don't have any specific questions. I think one of the reasons we don't is we've been doing a lot of work and understanding the capital projects on both campuses, all 3 campuses. We've had tours, and that reminds me that at some point again, we probably want to do another tour, maybe in the fall, I guess, I don't know, of where the capital projects stand, because I think that was really helpful to all of us.
Okay.
All right, with that, then I guess we need a motion on this item in a second.
So moved. Second.
I'm not sure who was first. Motion, Trustee Jay, second from Trustee Rydell. The motion carries on a unanimous 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. All right, so now we are moving on to the consent calendar. And I will ask, do we have any polls? We do not. All right. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? Motion from Trustee Inman.
Second.
Second from Trustee Jay. Let's go ahead and vote. The motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. All right. We're now on to 10.1, business services. Campus-wide lighting upgrades project at IVC, award of bid to Inter-Pacific. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Trustee Jay. Second from Trustee Dack. Any questions? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. 10.2 is Solar Phase 1 project at Saddleback College. We are awarding a bid to Solex Construction. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Trustee Jay.
Second.
Second from Trustee Rydell. Any questions? Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. 6.3, softball field and parking lot 12A project at Saddleback College. The awarding of a bid to Horizons Construction Company International. Is there a motion? Motion from Trustee Dack.
Second.
Second from Trustee Jay. Any questions? Let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. 10.4, Hydro Point Weather Track Irrigation Controllers for Saddleback College. The award of a bid to Site 1 Landscape Supply. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Trustee Jay. Is there a second? Second. Second from Trustee Dack. Are there any questions? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. We're now moving on to human resources. Item 11.1, academic employees and academic/classified administrator, manager, personnel. Actions, ratifications. Are there any changes?
No changes.
I took more to say that than to say no changes. So is there a motion to approve the item? Motion from trustee Prendergast,
Second.
second from trustee Jay. Any questions? Let's go ahead and vote. Oh, the motion finally carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student, oh no, no student trustee vote on this one. All right, we're on to 11.2, classified personnel actions and ratifications.
No changes.
No changes to the item. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Or we have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion from trustee Jay. Second from trustee Prendergast. Now let's go ahead and vote. Motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a, no, again, we don't have student trustee vote, a 6-0 trustee yes vote. All right, we're now moving on to what used to be trustee Wright's favorite item, and now it's trustee Prendergast's favorite item. It's the academic calendar. It's when we do miss trustee Wright during these times. I mean that
Well,
sincerely.
as long as they're not different, they're okay.
So is there a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Motion from trustee Jay. A second from trustee Inman. Are there any questions? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Motion, excuse me, motion carries on a 6-0 trustee yes vote and a student trustee yes vote. Academic calendar is approved. We're now on to 13, agenda item 13, 13.1. These are the information items. I will read through them. Unless we have any comments, I will continue to read through them. 13.1, staff response to public comments from the previous board meeting. Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College speakers. 13.3, monthly financial status report. 13.4, higher education emergency relief funds, HERF funds, monthly summary. And then 13.5, retiree OPEB trust fund. You have a question? On which item? Trust fund?
Dr. Stearns, could you tell them about the $11,000 speaker, please?
Okay, so then we're on item 13.2.
I'd be happy to. So the $11,000 is a total speaker and travel fee for Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin is probably next to Elon Musk, the most famous person with autism in the world. She invented the methods by which all countries now do slaughtering of animals. This sounds like a very obscure thing, but she did it humanely, without cruelty, and changed the way that agriculture and slaughtering was done around the world. She's written several books, among them bestsellers, all highly acclaimed, the latest of which, Visual Thinking, has been chosen by our One Book, One College task force as the book of the year for next year. The fee of $9,500 was negotiated down. Her range is anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, and her travel fees are quite modest at $1,500. So we're very excited to be able to have Temple Grandin on our campus next year, and we'll be sure to let you know when she appears. It should be an exciting event.
You good?
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All righty. Now we're moving on to 14, item 14, reports from the administration and governance groups. We've covered a lot of them already, but I will start out and turn to my right with Chancellor Barnes.
Great. Well, it has been a very busy but fulfilling month. And a lot of the places that we heard our trustees attend, I think I was right there next to you, so I was really grateful to be able to do that. And I just want to illuminate the fact that it is Community College Awareness Month. And if you look over here to my left, you'll see all these proclamations. And so we were able to go to several city council meetings. We have another one tomorrow, and it's been really wonderful just to illuminate the importance of community colleges. And I really appreciate it hearing our student trustees' story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rachel. And I think your story is like many of the stories that our students have. And at the end of the day, we all know this. And I think sometimes we're just kind of like doing our work. And sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, we really we're doing this, like we're really, opening doors and changing lives. And at the end of the day, that's what we do in the community colleges, not just this month, but every day of the year. So I just really want to illuminate that. And one of the reasons why we are the greatest institutions in the world is that it's all about the people. And so related to that, I do also want to extend my congratulations to all of the recipients of the Teacher of the Year Award. I've read about their bios. It's just amazing to hear the beautiful work that our faculty are embarking upon, and I know we're going to have an opportunity to celebrate our other constituent groups in future months as well. But, so we highlighted those individuals, but obviously every single person who's sitting in this room, every single person who's up here and beyond, it really does take a village. And so again, I just want to commend all of you for the work that you do every single day, heart and soul. Sometimes it's just tough. But at the end of the day, we have these beautiful success stories like the students that we get to work with every day. So thank you, thank you. And then last but not least, I do want to point out, again, it takes a village, and sometimes we kind of underestimate some of the other things that we do that illuminate the beautiful work that we do. So our trustees, you each have a packet from each of the colleges, IVC and Saddleback College. These are the beautiful marketing materials, just some of them that basically celebrate the community colleges and illuminate our work and our beautiful programs and our services. I realize I think I said beautiful. I guess, is that my word? Apparently I say that, because it's just beautiful. And I understand that actually Saddleback College, the marketing, your marketing department won some marketing awards recently. And so I want to congratulate the marketing department from Saddleback College. As we know, the board, as one of the board goals, established a goal to basically strengthen and advance marketing, communication, and branding. And so we had a really nice, I was going to almost say beautiful, but we had a really, need new adjectives, a really great opportunity to bring all of our marketing and communication folks together along with our presidents, and they just shared with us kind of like the status of where we are, including Letitia as well, the status of where we are with marketing, communication, and outreach. And we are already doing a lot of great work. I will bring this to the board as well, but this was just one of the ways that we can show you the work that we're doing. But there's also a commitment to be sure that we strengthen the work and take it to the next level. So anyway, happy Community College Awareness Month, and thank you all for your continued work.
Thank you for that, Chancellor Barnes. Now have the president of Irvine Valley College.
Thank you, Trustee Jamal. I also want to extend my congratulations to this year's Teachers of the Year from both colleges and at IVC. Our recipients will be recognized at our upcoming inaugural employee recognition ceremony on May 8th at 3 p.m. in the Performing Arts Theater, where alongside with our classified and managers of the year, our service pin recipients, and we will also be celebrating our faculty who advanced this fall to tenured status, followed by a reception. I hope as many of you who are available can attend. I recently had an opportunity to meet with the speech and debate team, and it really was a wonderful opportunity to create space and to learn about their journeys to IVC, and equally important, to hear about their experiences and how this has impacted them. A couple days later, I met with a few of the students that went to the Washington, D.C. advocacy trip, both student governments and EOPS. And it was just such a wonderful reminder. There were a couple themes that I just drew from both of those conversations. For so many of our students, these opportunities brings them out of their comfort zones. In particular, students said on the speech and debate, I was an introvert. I never thought I'd see myself competing on a national stage. And as well as students who were advocating with our congressional offices to be able to share their personal lived experiences. And so it all is just a beautiful reminder of the incredible opportunities that we provide our students outside of the classroom to learn, to reflect, and to grow. And I wanted to share that just in the spirit of Community College Awareness Month.
Thank you for that. I think next meeting we'll bring a thesaurus, so. I'm just kidding. All right, that wasn't as good as Dominion. All right, sometimes you miss. Saddleback College President.
I am not touching Dominion. I also want to acknowledge our Faculty of the Year. Congrats to Ryan McRicci, who teaches chemistry, Mary Mariano, who teaches English, and Jane Kim in the Emeritus Institute, who teaches music appreciation and opera. We're very proud of them. Like IVC, we will be honoring them along with tenure awardees, classified Employee of the Year, and Manager of the Year in an upcoming event, our second year of that event, and we'll make sure you're all invited and hope you can attend that as well. We heard mention today of a grant we just received. You'll hear more about that in next month's board report. But Heidi Ochoa did ask me to add to the various acknowledgements those who put the grant together, those being Kim DRC, Roxanne Metz, and Kathy Ergwin. So thank you all, and thank you faculty who participated in helping write that grant. We're very excited about having opportunities to create culturally competent pedagogy and syllabi. If Dan is still in the room, I saw he was here earlier. I want to acknowledge him, Dan Klaus, our athletic director and dean of kinesiology and athletics, for being named Cushman Wakefield Athletic Director of the Year, as you saw in the board report. He will be celebrated as one of only 4 athletic directors from community colleges in the entire country in an upcoming conference. And then I want to acknowledge, very importantly, our robotics team. For the second year in a row, our robotics team is going to finals along with 37 teams from 10 different countries. The finals will be in Utah on May 31st. I want to acknowledge and thank their advisors, Mitch Hyeri and Jim Repka. As I said, this is the second year in a row that they've made it, but you should know that they are the only community college that is competing in finals, and their scores beat out such little colleges as UC Berkeley and Caltech. That's right, their scores beat Berkeley and Caltech. So congratulations to them. And finally, in my comments tonight, I want to piggyback on, unfortunately, many of the comments that have been made about historical atrocities and ongoing atrocities in the Sudan. There is another atrocity that has been taking place well into its second year now, and that is the invasion and military efforts that are happening in the Ukraine. We know that many of those Ukrainians are coming to America, and we are so glad that they are. So far, about 250,000 of them have been permitted into this country. About another 130,000, 140,000 have been approved or on their way. The majority, that people may not know, the majority are on their way to the West Coast. They will settle in cities like Seattle, Sacramento, Los Angeles, and in Orange County. We are among some of the highest areas for Ukrainian refugees. I had the pleasure Saturday, and I'm so thankful to our college for putting on a great Discover Saddleback event, 2023. And in that event, we had Mira Menchik, who does translation services for Slavic languages for people who speak Slavic languages, and Ukrainian is a Slavic language. And she was hosting and translating for nearly 100 Slavic speakers, most of them Ukrainian refugees, who come to Saddleback to learn how they could become successful in this country. And I just want to acknowledge them, the Ukrainian refugees, and my college for making them feel so welcome. And we open our hearts and our arms to them. This is our mission in higher ed, and this is our mission as Americans. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Chris McDonald, Vice Chancellor of IT Services, or Educational and Technology Services. No report. Thank you for that. Vice Chancellor of Human Resources.
Just want to highlight and let the board know that the district received a $300,000 grant from the state DEIA innovation grant to expand our Bloom program. That is our faculty internship program that's been a terrific success this semester. We'll graduate the 10 mentees and celebrate them on May 12th. But we're super excited to expand that program, and we appreciate the support from Saddleback's Office of Grants, and especially our 2 academic senates, because we could not run the program without their support. So shout out to the 2 academic senates. Thank you.
All right, and closing tonight's meeting will be Vice Chancellor of Business Services.
Yes, thank you. And I actually do have a report. So first off, I want to mention that our ATAS building here at Saddleback College has recently been awarded a DBIA, so that's the Design Build Institute of America, the Western Pacific region, an award We don't know what the award is yet. We have to go to the ceremony. The ceremony's on June 15th of 2023 at the JW Marriott in Anaheim, but we have won something for the design. The other thing is kind of, both of them are related to ATEP. It was great that we were able to attend a unofficial groundbreaking on April 17th for Advantech, who is the tenant that will be leasing the large, almost 10-acre parcel. They had probably 50 people there. They were super excited to be there. I think it's going to be a great partnership. So we're just still working through getting the final approval from the city, but we will have an official groundbreaking once we get to that point. And then lastly, just a reminder that we do have an official groundbreaking for the Goddard Schools coming up on May 12th at ATEP. So that is actually our first tenant at ATEP that has started construction. So that's a huge milestone for us. So just a reminder. Thank you.
When I was in Michigan last week, I drove by a Goddard school. So, all right. So this evening, we adjourn the meeting with great sadness in honor of the lives of two members of the Irvine Valley College family, Don Pickering, who was mentioned earlier, and Howard Daschlager. Don Pickering was a longtime senior administrative assistant in EOPS, CARE, and CalWorks, and was known for her attention to details and her strong dedication to her work. She passed away at the end of March after a 4-year battle with cancer. Dawn faced her illness with the same fighting spirit that distinguished her throughout her life. She was loved and embraced by so many at IVC, and that meant a great deal to her. Dawn leaves behind a sister, 2 brothers, a niece, and 2 nephews, and a multitude of friends, and we certainly heard that tonight from a lot of people. Howard Daschlager was an IVC professor of mathematics and computer science, who is remembered fondly by his students and colleagues, and was known for his wealth of knowledge on many subjects. In addition to his incredible knowledge in mathematics and computer science, Howard was a gifted pianist who loved and enjoyed playing classical music, especially Chopin. He passed away in the beginning of April. His father requested that in lieu of flowers, memorial contributions may be made to the American Mathematics Society, the Irvine Valley College Foundation, and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we extend our deepest condolences to both Dawn and Howard. May all that knew and loved them find comfort during this difficult time. Good night.